So today I'm going to be sharing how I made this mini bar with nothing but just a can of paint. Basically, I repurposed this drawer set that the prior owners actually left this in the garage. They didn't clean out the garage. We thought it was just going to be junk and that we were going to end up throwing it away. But when we looked at it, it was still in pretty good shape except for some water damage over here on the top. And we were thinking, what if we repurpose this? We had been looking for a mini bar online and in different stores for a while, and they were all just a little too more. They were a lot more than what we wanted to pay, at least for now. It wasn't, having a mini bar wasn't something that we needed. It was just something that we wanted, and so we weren't looking to spend a whole lot of money on it. The mini bars that we really liked were ranging between $200 to $300 and up, and so we just couldn't justify paying that much for something that we didn't need. And so instead, I decided to just get some paint this. I did add some handles to the drawers, and this is what it turned out as, and I'm actually really happy with it. I think it has a little bit of a 70s vibe to it. It's definitely not as modern as what we were looking for, but for now, for a few years, I think this works really well. So I'm going to go through the process as to how I got here. So right here, this is what this looked like before I painted it. You can see I had already sanded it down. Right there on the top, you can see I sanded it a lot more just because of that water damage. And this is everything I used. I did use the primer that I had used in the kitchen, so I already had that. And this is the paint that I actually purchased. It's called Nightclub. Just got the Behr Premium Ultra at Home Depot. And this is what it looked like after I primed it. You can see that after I did one coat of the primer, it actually still, you could still see through it a lot, and I was kind of worried. I thought about doing a second coat. I decided against it, and I'm actually really glad I didn't, because when I went in with the gray paint, I actually needed more coats of the gray than I expected, and if I had done more coats of the primer, I think it would have been even harder to cover all of the primer. And again, the primer is what I had left over from my kitchen, so I didn't have to buy that. The paint, this gray paint, we ended up really liking it. It's like a really dark gray, but depending on the light, it kind of looks blue. Maybe on the camera it looks a little bit bluish. But we kind of like that about it, and we bought a big can because we wanted to use it throughout the house. So I actually used it on different projects throughout the house, and I'll be sharing those as well. And so it kind of brings a lot of the cohesiveness of our style in the house, especially because we are going for a little bit more grays and blacks and whites. Our last house was more black and white. This one we wanted a little bit more of the darker gray. And so this went very well. You can see right there how you can see through the coat of the gray. You can see the white. So I did end up having to do at least, I think I did 2 more coats, so 3 coats altogether for everything except the top. The top, you can still see where we sanded it down, where the water damage was. And so my husband ended up going back in with the sander and sanding it down even more, which obviously took the paint off. And so I did have to do 2 coats in that area so that it would blend in with the rest. And then I ended up doing, I don't remember, but I think I did 2 or 3 more coats on top of that. So on top of here, I ended up doing 4 or 5 coats. And so here you see it once I did that, how the top looks a lot better. You can't see the streaks or the bubbles from the water damage, and so it finally covered. One tip that I would give is towards the last couple of coats, I actually used a full-size roller, whereas before I was using a smaller roller, and that helped blend the top a lot better because it was a larger surface area and I could see the roller streaks, and I didn't really like that. Ended up decorating with just stuff that I had around the house, like this tray right here. That tray I had from a cheese platter and I wasn't using it, so I used it to put these 2 candles that I actually got from the Dollar Tree. And then I got this skull from Z Gallery in Arizona. It was actually fairly inexpensive. These aren't like our favorite drinks, but it's what I had on hand. My husband likes scotch and whiskey a lot, and so that's what I ended up putting on there. I had that candle holder already. That tray is actually the it's a tray that I got at, I think, either Marshall's or TJ Maxx. Here's where I keep all the wine glasses. I have these shot glasses that also have skulls, and I kind of feel like it fits in with the theme. It's not a theme that I ended up picking purposefully, but it ends up working really well. I actually just recently, we went back home to California for Thanksgiving, and we ended up going to IKEA, so I actually got some actual bigger wine glasses because the ones I have are too small. And so this is just a glass that my sister got me for my birthday last year, and this is one my paralegal got me. So I like to keep those in the front. These are my husband's Scotch glasses. And then back there you could see the hole that was already there, but when you stand up and you're looking at it, you actually can't see it. So here I have, again, going on with the skull theme, I have those matches to go with the cigar box. Then we have this Napa Valley wine box that we got from Napa Valley. And then what I ended up doing is changing out the knobs here, the handles. I got these at from CB2, just online. And then here I keep all of my wine things, like my wine opener. I have a bottle opener, and then there's actually more cigars in that box. And so yeah, that's what I ended up doing with this. I right now have it in this corner of the house, and this is just an odd corner right now. It was the upstairs living room, but we're gonna end up closing out this room, making it into a bedroom. And for now, this is just, we didn't want it to be empty, so this is where I kept this since it was empty. And so what I would plan to do is, you can see how the room kind of splits right there, like the framing. And so we're planning to close this off completely to make it into a room / office, and I'll be moving the office out of here. And then when I do that, I'll be moving the mini bar out to just outside of the wall that we're going to be putting up, so that we can still have it up here for all the guests. And so yeah, that's basically how this project went. I'll be putting down below all the things that I use, so make sure you read down below. Thanks.